Hi students, this is Lode Ettaya. Today I am going to talk about the living world. I am from biologytrainer.com. What is living? Now we are going to talk about what is living. Different kind of living organisms are there. They are microorganisms, they are macroorganisms. Microorganisms means we cannot see them with our naked eye. We can see them under microscope only. What about macroorganisms? We can see with our naked eye. They are bigger in size. Here, what are examples of microorganisms? Bacteria, amoeba, these are all microorganisms. What are examples of macroorganisms? They are plants and animals. They are multicellular plants and animals. We found these organisms in different kind of habitats. They are cold mountains, deciduous forests, oceans, freshwater lakes, deserts, hot water springs. They can live everywhere. There is ecological conflict and cooperation among members of population and community. Now we are going to define what is living, how they are differ from non-living objects. Now these all things we will discuss now. Living organisms show some unique features. We can differentiate living organisms from non-living objects. They are cellular organization, metabolism, growth, reproduction, consciousness. These are all features are shown by living organisms. We will discuss one by another. First, we will discuss cellular organization. Cell is a basic unit of life. Cell is highly organized structure. How cell is made up of? Atoms together can make molecule. Molecules together can make cell organelle. Cell organelles together make cell. In this way, cell is highly organized structure. All organisms are made up of cells. That's why what we are saying, cell is structural unit. All functions of organism taken place within the cell. All activities of organism is taken place within the cell. That's why what we are saying, cell is a functional unit. No non-living object has this kind of highly organized cell. That's why it is defining property of living organisms. Now we will discuss metabolism. All organisms are made up of different kind of chemicals. Those chemicals continuously synthesized and break down inside the living body. This kind of transformation of chemicals, what we are saying, chemical reactions or metabolic reactions, like thousands of chemical reactions occur simultaneously in the body of an organism. Then what is the definition of metabolism? The sum total of all the chemical reactions occur in the body of an organism is called metabolism. Some of reactions are building up reactions. We can call them anabolism, like photosynthesis, protein synthesis. In the photosynthesis, carbon dioxide, water, they are simple compounds. They are combined with the help of light and pigments and form glucose. That's why it is anabolic reaction. It is building up reaction. Next kind of reaction is breakdown reactions. Here, complex molecules are break down into simple inorganic compounds. This kind of phenomena, this kind of reaction is catabolism. Example, respiration. In the respiration process, glucose is break down into CO2 and H2O. Here we are getting energy from this catabolism. In this way, many kind of reactions are taking place inside the body. The result of metabolism, it leads to growth and development of organisms. Here we can discuss one thing about isolated metabolic reactions. We can conduct them in test tubes, that is cell-free system. Before, you have to know one thing: living reactions which are taking place inside the body with their own. But here we are conducting the reaction inside the test tube. We are adding all kind of components inside the test tube. That's why it is only living reaction, it is not living thing. In the test tube, components are not added by its own. We are adding all those things by externally. That's why it is living reaction only, it is not a living thing. No non-living objects show this kind of metabolic reactions. That's why what we are saying, it is inclusively defining property of living organisms. Now we will discuss growth. All organisms show growth. Growth is a reversible increase in mass and increase in number of cells. This is the definition of growth. Growth has twin characteristic features. One of the feature is increase in mass, another feature is increase in number of cells. All organisms means multicellular organisms, unicellular organisms. First, we will discuss how growth is taken place in multicellular organisms. In multicellular organisms, growth is taken place by cell division. What are multicellular organisms? They are plants and animals. Now we will going to discuss how growth is taking place in plants and animals. In plants, the growth is unlimited, indefinite. The growth is taking place throughout their lifespan because of meristers. Plants have meristers at their tips of roots, tips of stems. Due to the meristems, plants showing unlimited growth, indefinite growth. What about animals? Animals show growth up to certain age. That's why what we are saying, the growth in animals is limited. We can say it is definite. Even though certain tissues replace their lost cells, replace their dead cells. Understood? In multicellular organisms, growth and reproduction both will be entirely different. They are not same. That's why what we are saying, growth and reproduction mutually exclusive properties in case of multicellular organisms. Okay students, what about unicellular organisms? Growth and reproduction both will be same. We can use them interchangeably. For explaining this thing, I am taking bacteria. Bacteria after some time divided into two daughter cells. Here what you observe, increasing in number of cells, that is growth. That cell is complete individual. That means what? It is reproduction also. Then what you observed here, growth and reproduction both will be same in case of unicellular organisms. That's it. Another important point I am going to explain to you. In vitro cell cultures, we can simply count the number of cells while they are dividing. Are there any non-living objects show growth? Yes. There are non-living objects also show growth when we take in the criteria increase in body mass. So how these objects show growth? Accumulation of material on their surface, increase in the body mass, adding of material on their surfaces. This is an extrinsic property. This is reversible process. What about living organisms? In living organisms, this process is irreversible. This process is intrinsic property. Understood? Okay, what are those non-living objects? Mountains, boulders, sand mounds. That's why growth is not defining property. It is only fundamental property. Understood, students? Now we will discuss about reproduction. Reproduction is a process of production of individuals. It is taken place by asexual methods and sexual methods. Yeast and hydra in them, budding is taken place. Planaria In that organism, a regeneration is taken place, which means lost parts are regenerated. In case of planaria, we can observe true regeneration. Planaria, you can say flatworm. Fragmentation, it is one method, it is one asexual method. It is taking place in filamentous fungi, algae, and protonema stage of mosses. This thing you know well. Unicellular organisms, reproduction and growth both will be same. Both are inclusive properties. Just now we discussed. Okay, even though many organisms do not reproduce. What are those? I am saying some of examples here. Mules, sterile worker bees, infertile human couples. These things do not show reproduction in their entire lifespan. No non-living objects show reproduction. That's why reproduction is not a defining property, it is only fundamental property. Understood? Now we will discuss consciousness. Consciousness, it is most obvious and technically complicated feature. Why? It is most obvious and technically complicated feature. Many systems are involved in this consciousness. What is the definition of consciousness? We have to give response to external stimuli. Okay, we sense our surroundings, we sense our environment. Here, response to external stimuli or internal stimuli. Here we will discuss external stimuli. Okay, what are external stimuli? They may be physical, they may be chemical, they may be biological. Understood? They are external stimuli. How higher organisms sense their environment, sense their surroundings, sense their external stimuli by their sense organs like nose, eye, ear, etc. Plants also respond to their environment. Plants also respond to light, temperature, water, pollutants, and other organisms. Some of living organisms show response to duration of light. We can say that is photoperiod. So those organisms are seasonal breeders. In them, the response is change in reproductive behavior. They can reproduce in specific seasons. Understood? Self-consciousness. This is special feature in human beings. This is the unique feature of human beings. It is not present in all other kind of living things. It is only found in human beings. What is the definition of self-consciousness? Aware of himself. Another point I am going to explain to you. It is a little bit difficult to explain living state in human beings. Why? Patients lying in coma, they are supported by machines. So they, in them, self-consciousness is absent, the consciousness is absent. So they are brain dead, they are neither living or non-living. Okay? Are they living or are they non-living? Okay, there may be some chances come back to normal life. If they come back to normal life, they are living. If they do not come back to normal life, they are simply brain dead. Okay? So this is the point I'm going to explain to you. Have you got this point? So no non-living object show consciousness. That's why consciousness is defining property of living beings. Understood? Now interactions. All the living phenomena is underlying due to interactions. I'm going to explain this thing by taking two examples. One example is properties of cell organelles are not present among its constituent molecules. Properties of cell organelles are emerged due to interactions among its constituent molecules. Another example, properties of tissues. Properties of tissues are not present among its constituent cells. They are emerged due to interactions among its constituent cells. In this way, interactions are there at each level, at atom level, at molecule level, at organelle level, at cell level. No non-living object show this kind of interaction. That's why interaction is also defining property of living beings. Okay, then what is the definition of living organism? which are self-replicating, evolving, self-regulating. They are living organisms. They are sharing common genetic material, present, past, and future, but varying degrees. Understood?